Today I get to talk about mission trips, and mission trips are something very near and dear to my heart. I've been on several. I've served as a participant, as a youth group leader, on an adult trip, and then this church has sponsored me as I went and did 6 months of ministry work. So I'm going to start off reading Matthew 28:19 through 20. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything that I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. And so this is a commandment that was created for everyone. We are all called to therefore go and make disciples of all nations. But whether that means you're making them in your community that you're serving or going far and near and wide all across the world, it's just very important and a call that's been placed on all of us. What I find about mission trips being very challenging is it puts us outside of our comfort zones. We travel, which can be hard, tiring. We often then stay on sleeping cots or air mattresses, and they're long days. They're hard, they're sweaty, they're uncomfortable, and you're forced to be in a community setting. You can't retreat to your room or do whatever you want to do just to unwind. It's usually a week time or more. But I have seen that when you're placed outside of your comfort zone, you really are opened up to God and allow Him to move you and mold you and show you new things about yourself that you haven't seen before. So for the different trips that Glen Oak has been a part of, I started here when I was about 18 or 19, and I had gone to Alderson, West Virginia. That was with a big group, and we worked on homes. I helped to repair a roof, which was very hard and tiring, but I learned a lot and got to make great new friends. And then I've been on a part of several St. Louis trips for the youth. We took them down to St. Louis and we stayed and did different ministries across the city. It was different entities that helped us just come alongside of them and be a part of what they were doing. Like whether it was serving in a nursing home or working in a homeless shelter, just different things. Helped to do a community garden. One cool thing about that trip is one of the youth actually then found her passion of working with the elderly in a healthcare setting, which was really cool. And then I was a leader down in Orlando. That was a very long trip, driving down there and back with the youth. But on that trip, I was able to experience one of the youth opening up and just breaking down a bunch of walls and allowing God to move in their life, which was very cool, and it definitely was a pivotal moment in their life. And I think it was because they were pushed so far outside of their comfort zone that they had nowhere else to turn but to God. Glen Oak has done one adult trip, which is to Nashville, and that was after their floods. It was very cool to be a part of that, where I wasn't necessarily a leader. I got to be a participant, but in an adult setting. So that was different challenges of their own, where, who's the leader? Not necessarily sure. We all got to do things together. We hope to do more adult trips and youth trips as we move on, but funds are needed. And so back to the commandment of therefore go and make disciples of all nations. A lot of people feel called to do ministry in mission trips, but know that they're not called to go and actually do that. So they choose to financially support that, which is great. That is still a way that you're fulfilling the call of God. That's really hard because I've just done the different facets of being a leader, being a participant, and then being an adult. But I would have to say, I guess in the life of this church, it has definitely been my first, which was to Alderson, West Virginia. And that was because I just was really forced out of my comfort zone because I didn't know anybody here yet. And then all of a sudden I was forced with very strong teenagers to push me outside of my comfort zone and then open up and ask me questions that I hadn't even really thought of about myself and faith, and just became great friends with a lot of people after that trip.